Ooh, you are listening to Keith Price's Curtain Call. This is Keith Price, and yes, we are back on the Curtain Call, and we're having a great time because, again, this is one of those opportunities where I get to do something a little bit special, more special than the other stuff that I do, but this is one of those things where I'm very excited because, you know, usually I don't have a chance to sit down with my Facebook friends. I did it the other day. I had one, and this is now another group. And actually, it's kind of interesting. The last Facebook friends that I sat down with were Emily Skinner and Alice Ripley. And so, you know, now I'm sitting with more award-winning people here. This is fantastic. The songwriting music duo who have, you know, it's very interesting that you have had your music and works recorded by a lot of my favorite Broadway divas. And at the same time, there's a lightness and a being to the work of Marcy Heisler and Zina Goldrich that anyone who has heard any one of their songs, everyone always talks about Taylor the Latte Boy, that's the big one. But like, there's so much love and passion in the work that you guys put together. And right now, they have created, again, this is an extension of a piece that you guys have pretty much have already done before, not the piece itself, but your continuing story of Junie B and her essential survival guide to school. And it's so exciting because I just got through watching a preview of some of the songs from the show, and I became 5 again. It's like my Saturday morning schoolhouse rock moment. And I'm so pleased to present both Marcy Heisler and Zina Goldrich to the Curtain Call. Thank you guys so much for doing this. How are you?
We're great. Thank you so much for having us.
It's been a minute now. The last time I saw you guys, it was at the Ever After thing where last spring, and I was sitting actually in front of you guys, and I had no idea who you guys were. I mean, I knew who you were name-wise, but I'd never seen you because... No.
No, I am kidding, America.
No, but I mean,
it's nice to meet you.
No, it's nice to meet you. But I mean, it was funny because I remember there was one of the songs that had happened, and I snickered so loud because I have a really distinctive laugh, and I was just like, oh my God, I'm embarrassing myself again. I can't believe I'm doing this again. And then you guys were like, oh my God, he's laughing at that. It was like great for me.
Any of our shows, if you laugh loudly. So.
Oh my God! So you guys, this is the extension of Junie B in her life. This is a wonderful children's piece that has, you know, we're on another level with her. This is so cool. So how did you guys get involved at the very beginning with this piece?
We were so lucky. We had known Barbara Pasternak and through the business, and she came to us and said, something came across my desk, and we think that the two of you might have a good affinity for these books and this character. And I was not familiar with Junie B. Jones at the time. I'd heard of it. I'd heard of all those wonderful books, but I had not read them. And so I took 5 of them home, the 5 that they were thinking of adapting, and I read through them, and I just laughed because I could relate so much to this character. I think we all do, and I know Zina felt the same way.
Yes, I had a daughter who was, I think, about 5 years old at the time, so she was just almost ready for Junie B, and so I started reading them to her. She loved them. I loved them. We just had a great time with it. She's a really quirky, delicious character, I think.
What, your daughter or Junie B?
Both of them, actually. If you know them, both of them are.
I love that. I love that Marcy Heisler and Zina Goldrich here with me. So this piece, of course, it captures clearly something with you guys. It's like, does this tap into your own inner 5 and 6-year-old girl trying to just do, because you know you guys you're doing it. You're clearly doing what it was that you were meant to do at a time, and you're in a zone where even still, I think it's a lot harder for women to get to do what you're doing. So how empowering is this for you to put this piece together?
Well, I love the fact that Junie B is a young lady who's trying to navigate the world. And I sort of feel like Marcy and I are doing the same thing. We're just kind of making our way and doing, you know, writing things that feel good to us and that make us laugh and that we like to sing and that we hope other people like that as well. And I think Junie B is that same kind of creative soul, you know?
I do believe that Junie B is such a character whose dreams are just way too big for her head to contain. And I think that, that's certainly something that Zina and I can relate to. And because of that, I think that creates a lot of drama, in that I just think she's scrambling and trying to keep up. She's trying to grow into her feelings. And I think that at various stages of life, we all do that. I think that this covers first grade, but I think that we all, especially those of us in the arts, every time you're on a new show, every time you have a new experience, you're creating a new family. And that is what going to first grade is like, because it's a completely new experience. It's the first time where you really have to collaborate in a certain way, and where people's ideas do build on each other. And somebody does get a better grade, and somebody does struggle in school. And all of those things are coming at you, and I think that you really have to learn how to navigate it. And all of these books give us a chance to explore that, not only all the things that you go through, but how to navigate all that with your friends. And I think that while it takes place in first grade, it relates to the first grade feelings in all of us that we still have.
Wow. Again, children's theater getting so deep. I can't. Oh my God.
When it comes to children's theater, our approach has always been you write it as an adult show.
Correct.
I don't think we've ever looked at something and said we want to write it so that it's palatable to little kids. What we try to do is just make it fun and make it it has to be understandable, but I don't think there's anything in here that doesn't really apply to an adult at the same time.
Certainly, again, like I said, as I was just watching, those three numbers, and I was just like, okay, yeah, this is yeah, sit on the bus. You could do all kinds of cute stuff on the bus. And I'm like, oh my God, don't you remember sitting over the wheel hump? And then it's like,
or in the song Dear May, when she's trying to come up with an apology. I mean, how many adults have trouble doing that? It's difficult. So
I was going to say, talk to my partner. Because I can't get it right. Anyway, so now at this point this piece is going to be a really special piece in that it's part of the TheatreWorks program, where they're bringing 10,000, 12,000 students to see the show for free. And for them, this is going to be one of their first theatrical experiences. How does it feel to know that you are... Because again, like I said, for me, sitting in that room just with the rehearsal pieces, not seeing the whole show, there were moments for me when I can already feel like, oh my God, I wish that when I was this, it's like, and then it's like it's like an up with people moment, you know what I mean? Like, wow, look at all of these people doing this. And do you have pride in that responsibility, or do you really take it seriously, the responsibility that you have? Because this is going to be someone's first theatrical experience.
Well, I think that we take it as if, seeing my first theatrical experiences in Chicago in the 70s, those were some of the most pivotal experiences of my life. So I keep that very much in mind when Zina and I write a piece. I also am quite thrilled that it's about school. This particular piece is about school and all of its trials and tribulations and excitement. And in a certain way, I'm very excited that it's being married with that audience. It really is very meaningful to me.
She covered it.
I also want to say we got a great deal of help from the original material. Barbara Park, who created these characters. We're so lucky that we get to take this, as I say, take the football and run. She is such an amazing writer, and we miss her so. And we're so grateful that she created this group of characters. That it's just so wide, and there are so many things to do with them. And we're so thrilled that you relate to them.
I mean, again, you would have to be a hardened. And I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm jaded. But I mean, you really have to be a hardened person to not be able to, even just in those few songs, pick out where the adult to be moment is, because it's wonderful. I mean, you're right about one thing that I like, and that is, when you were a kid, you don't know what to do with all of those feelings and all of those ideas and all of those things, and being able, and growing into them. I mean,
well, I think that Zina and I, we really, something that we've talked about a lot is it's not only about writing about this is how I feel, it's about why do I feel this way. That's what kids struggle with so much, is sometimes they have avalanches of feeling. In the first Junie B. Jones, there's a lyric, in my insides, there's an avalanche of feeling. I think she's trying to figure out why there's so much feeling. And I think that we took that and sort of explored that further in this. I mean, why are we doing all the things that we do? And sometimes we don't know.
We know we have a lot of adult friends who actually say, I actually really liked Junie B. Like they're embarrassed to say that they really loved it, or it's one of their favorite shows, and it always makes me feel good because I feel like we, at least made an impression because it's, there's children's theater and there's adult theater, and I don't think the two have to be so separate all the time.
I agree.
Well, because it's the experience that everyone still gets. Of course, now I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, okay, so you're capturing the essence of the first grader, that energy. You've, stepped over and had like I'm thinking about Ever After and that whole experience in between. I'm like, is there like a Judy Blume book that you guys could do for those people in between?
Judy, call us.
Yes, call Judy. Judy, we'd love to hear from you.
It's like, are you there, God? I mean, because I feel like at some point,
Zina.
maybe you guys should just do original kind of, I'm just.
Those were amazing books too. What a thrill that would be.
But again, that was like a very pivotal literary period because I remember many of the girls around me at the time were reading all of the Judy Blume books and having their emotions. I was too busy trying to read Encyclopedia Brown, but that's another story.
I love those too. Read them all.
But this is great. So is it fun for you guys to do stuff like this because it keeps you very much in touch with your inner kid, doesn't it?
I think it certainly does. No, I mean, they're easier. I shouldn't say they're easy. They come more easily than one would think. Because I don't think that we change. I think growing up is exactly that. I think we are the same people. We're just older with more vocabulary. I really do. And in that way, I think it's not as separate as sometimes we think of the stages of our lives.
I like the purity of emotion. I think that, it's really, when you have a feeling, you're really having that feeling. And it's, perhaps it's not as complex or it might be complex, but you don't have the tools yet to understand what's happening to you. But as adults, as we watch our children kind of go through these things, it's nice to see that kind of depth going on so early, That's
so wonderful. Well, you know what, Marcy Heisler and Zina Goldrich, first of all, again, you guys have put your stamp on something that is, it's not only that it's really good material, but it's just so sweet and it's just so wonderful to just, again, my 5-year-old was just dancing around going, doing the pony with the, and of course the rhythms, hello. I was just like, did I see somebody doing Fosse? What's happening here? Like, what is going on inside here? But I mean, it's like, it feels like that kind of opportunity for adults to be able to even take a moment and enjoy that 60 minutes with their kids as well. And I hope that people really appreciate what kinds of stuff you guys are doing with that. Because again, empowering a 6-year-old to figure out, it's okay for you to be weird and emotional because you're 6 and it's all right. And if
you're 40, it's okay to be weird and emotional too, by the way.
Child, I'm pushing 50 and still just, I can't. I had a pull in their stomach. But again, I think about those kids that will be coming to see the show, and for them, especially if it's like inner city kids that are having all kinds of issues, I hope that for them that the theatrical experience will like spark something in them to do something different or come to the theater, because this is where all the misfits are anyway, right? I love it. Oh my God. So again, this is Marcy Heisler, Zina Goldrich with me, and we're talking about their show, Junie B's Essential Survival Guide to School, that will be going on from the 20th of July through August 19th. And again, thanks. Just thanks.
Thank you. It's always a pleasure to talk with you.
It's always a pleasure.
You guys are great. And we will be back.